Alright, let's take a trip back to the roaring days of organized crime, where the lines between business crime and legend blurred into one. You've probably heard of Meyer Lansky, the mob's accountant, but you can't talk about Lansky without talking about Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. These two weren't just childhood friends from New York's Lower East Side. They were the architects of a criminal empire that stretched from the streets of Brooklyn all the way to the neon lights of Las Vegas. Back in the Prohibition era, Lansky and Siegel started small, just a couple of kids running booze out of a garage hustling for Arnold Rothstein, the guy who fixed the 1919 World Series. But they didn't stay small for long. With Rothstein's connections, Meyer and Bugsy became the biggest liquor distributors in the country, rubbing shoulders with Italian bosses like Lucky Luciano. And then came Murder, Inc., the deadliest enforcement squad the underworld had ever seen. Picture this. A ruthless alliance of Jewish gangsters and Italian gangsters, taking orders from the National Crime Syndicate, running hits from the back rooms of Brooklyn. These guys were responsible for hundreds, maybe thousands of contract killings. If you crossed the syndicate, Murder, Inc. made sure you disappeared, but the law eventually caught up. When Abe Kid Twist Reels turned informant in 1941, the whole operation unraveled. Trials, convictions, executions, the golden age of Murder, Inc. was over, but Lansky, he was always 2 steps ahead. While the heat was on in New York, Meyer set his sights on the next big score. Las Vegas. With Bugsy Siegel as the frontman, they transformed the desert into the gambling capital of the world. The Flamingo wasn't just a casino, it was a revolution, glamorous, flashy, way over budget. It set the standard for everything that came after. But Vegas was just one chapter. Lansky's empire stretched to Cuba, where he ran luxury casinos for Batista, until Castro's revolution wiped it all out overnight. Back in the States, crackdowns and tax charges kept Lansky on the run, even fleeing to Israel under the right of return. But the law never quite nailed him. Meyer Lansky died in Miami in 1983, never serving a day in prison for his biggest crimes, but his fingerprints still all over Las Vegas, and every story where business and the underworld collide. So next time you see those Vegas lights, remember, they were built by men who played by their own rules and changed the game forever.